Hello, Glitzers, and welcome to the Media Mogul News Hour's entertainment podcast tonight featuring the Glaminati, Teonny Spears, pop culture extraordinaire. How are you, Teon?
I'm just fine.
Wonderful. Tygerlily, TygerlilyRocks.com. How are you, Tygerlily?
I'm good.
And myself, JaVonni Brustow, the owner of PopGlitz.com. So, yesterday I had the pleasure of being sent some very disturbing news from Tiger. At the Birmingham Bowl, Florida Gators running back Adam Lane, not to be confused with the North Carolina highway killer back in 2007, scored his first touchdown of his career. He was apparently so excited, he pooped his pants. They tried covering it up with a towel, but inevitably he returned to the field with a fresh set of white pants. There were a lot of mean things being said, of course. There were about 150 or so comments on Deadspin.com. And do you think that we are being mean in talking about a football player who pooped his pants? Was it just an accident, or is it fair game? Tiger?
Well, I do hear that they pee on themselves often.
Oh, God.
So it's, but it's just funny because they had on those white pants, and then they had to wrap him up in a towel like a baby or something. But he came back out in new pants. So, I mean, things happen. It just really depends. Oh, my God. Sorry. Yeah, it's free game. I'm clearly laughing at him. It's definitely free game.
I mean, one of the commenters said that that it was just a bowl. It wasn't anything big, and he probably had a bad diet and poor hygiene because, poor hydration because, nobody really gives a damn about bowl games. And that is what happened. But what I would like to know is it too much to ask for me to watch television and not have the people on there poop their pants? I mean,
it's like that hot tub video.
Is that unreasonable?
What hot tub video?
With the people in the hot tub and the girl, like, out of nowhere gets diarrhea and it fills the hot tub and everybody jumps out.
Oh, my God! I have never heard of that video.
I just had a pizza in my hand.
I had
started this conversation.
I was putting it down.
I just realized, I was like, I haven't eaten, I haven't had my coffee. Oh, my God.
And God knows you need your coffee.
Oh, absolutely. But, I mean, I don't know if I could have it now. Now, so very much.
Coffee gives me that problem that we're talking about.
Oh, Lord. I mean, now, another commenter said that it was a medical emergency that happened to a college student working for his team for free with little in return, and his body just couldn't hold up. Now, I understand the point, but a free college education, I know that college is full-time. Some could say football is full-time as well. I don't know if I would say that that's nothing in return that he's getting. And again, I ask, I mean, I don't think that holding yourself together for for a little while is too much to ask. Maybe the peeing on themselves, maybe. I have yet to see that, but I definitely know I have not seen anyone poop their pants on the football field before. Anyone else seen any of this? Tiger, you're the one who said that they
have peed on themselves from time to time, but the sharding, I don't know. Like, I don't know if he thought that it was like a fart and then it just went wrong, but oh man, that was sick. When I had to see that, I was like, oh man, I saw it on my news feed because I wasn't watching that game. But I was just like, oh my God, that's sick. And it just looked like he just misjudged what he thought that was.
Oh my God.
Let's be honest. Who hasn't had one of those situations happen to them before? The only difference is he has to do it in front of millions and millions of people.
Well, now, you said the word shard. Like, how did you? I didn't know that
shard
you
it. Sharding.
I did not know that you could conjugate that word.
So you never
heard that word before?
Well, it's not every day that we talk about
joke about
this conversation
all the time. It's when you misjudge a fart. It's a shit in a fart.
I can't take this.
Oh, okay. Well, I see I'm going to have some rules about profanity.
I can't.
Yes, I don't know. This is like time number 4 for you over like the last almost 10 episodes.
Oh, my gosh. I can't
I did not know that. Okay, but that's like, okay, Shard.
But I'm giving you the real deal of what it is.
It really is a word.
Okay, that's a combination of, I'm trying to be good. I'm not going to say it, of the S word and farting. I thought that you were conjugating. I thought that was like past tense.
No.
People call it that all the time.
All the time.
Okay, I guess I've just been living
in
my own little
Where did you grow
life.
up?
You've been living in the 40s.
Hey, that's my time. I'm happy to live. I was happy before I learned what the word shart meant.
Yeah. Things happen.
On the rest of my life without knowing that.
Well, last night, I don't even know how I started watching Celebrity Apprentice. I honestly thought that show had ended a long time ago. I've only watched maybe one season. I think that was the one with Lil Jon on it, and that was probably, 3 years ago? So, honestly, it's not something that I watched, but I happened to look up and I saw that Kenya was on there. Kenya and Brandy Glanville from Real Housewives franchises. And then I saw that Vivica Fox was on there, and then Keisha Knight Pulliam, which brings me to my current story. Keisha Knight was the project manager for the girls' team. They were making some kind of cupcakes where they had like a sweet cupcake and then like a more savory cupcake type thing going on. Well, if anybody's been watching the Celebrity Apprentice, it's all about money and basically raising money for each celebrity's individual charities that they like to support. So with this, the girls were supposed to raise money. The guys' team, which consists of Gilbert Gottfried and Terrell Owens and Geraldo, actually. So
really,
yeah, Geraldo's on there, and he basically, and one of the Jonas Brothers too, by the way.
Is there something wrong with Geraldo being on there? Would you like to share it with the class, Tion?
No, I mean it's just that it's been a while since I've heard his name mentioned. Just saying.
Well,
he
has people that can bring in a lot of money.
Top name in news, and yes, he has access to a lot of money. He's a very rich man.
So it's basically like putting Nene next to Oprah, and that's kind of like the situation with Keisha Knight. And then Geraldo was the project manager for the guys' team. Well, what happened is the guys' team ended up raising a substantial amount more money because they had one of the Jonas Brothers, and they also had Gilbert Gottfried, who also has a lot of resources, and Geraldo. So the people were mad because Keisha Knight, I think she contacted, for donations, she contacted Tyler Perry and some other people, but the ace in the hole would have been Bill Cosby. Now, mind you, this show was recorded back in March, so it was before all of these recent allegations have come out against Bill. But people were upset because they felt that Keisha should have contacted Bill to send them in, donations, because the object of the whole thing is basically raising a lot of money. And her excuse was that she hasn't talked to Bill like that. She said that it's been like 5 years since she's talked to him on the phone. The only time they see each other is if there's some type of Cosby reunion or something like that going on. And she's just stating, like she said on the Today Show this morning, people expect them, because the show's in reruns right now, people are still kind of associating her with that and making it seem like what she said is that they have dinner every Friday. And that's not the case. You know, she looks up to him as a mentor. She did speak briefly on his, you know, current situation. She said that's not the man that she knows. She can't make any accusations against him because nothing ever happened to her. But like she said, you know, which she was fired from Apprentice last night, by the way, because of her lack of, you know, being able to keep her team together and raise enough money, and by her not using the resources that she had. Even this morning, Donald Trump, like, sent out a tweet that basically was still, like, kind of cold-hearted, like she still should have called him. He would have given her the money. She still could have called him.
Wait a minute.
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't know what he sent out this morning because I didn't look. I love Donald Trump, so I'm always looking at his Twitter. I love how he just goes off. I mean, he's Donald Trump. He can do that. But even if he sent something that was cold-hearted, like, I don't really watch Apprentice, but even though he fired her, he still gave her $25,000. I mean, it was still a win-win situation. Wasn't the prize $25,000 anyway, I thought? And I thought that even though she was fired, she still got the prize, technically. So she still kind of came out winning. As for her not calling Bill Cosby, that was the obvious, you know, thing to do. If you are a project manager, your job, I mean, your job is to make sure that everyone raises money. It's all about money. And the project manager, you're the leader, so you're supposed to be the expert at raising money. So it made no sense for her to be the project manager. Now, if she only raised $7,000 and she called multiple people, including Tyler Perry, apparently Tyler Perry and Bill Cosby actually have the same net worth. I don't know if that's true, maybe not, but that's what's reported. They're both worth $400 million. So it seems like she should have been able to come up with that money anyway. I mean, one doesn't seem any bigger than the other, even though Bill Cosby was probably like equally as, you know, has equal amount of money. Tion, do you look at Apprentice at all?
I don't look at Celebrity Apprentice. In fact, the last season I watched was the season where it had LaToya Jackson, NeNe Leakes, Dionne Warwick.
No,
and,
yes, that was with Will John, wasn't it?
And Star Jones. Because everybody on Twitter and Facebook was talking about it. And I was like, okay, well, what's really going on? Like, what is this show about? And I'm watching, I'm like, oh my gosh, this show is so full of shade.
Yes, she said, I got your number, Hussy.
I got your number, Hussy. And that's when Mimi called LaToya Casper to go. That season was just amazing. I feel like Keisha was right not to call Bill Cosby. Granted that, you know, she hasn't talked to him for 5 years. Don't
volunteer for a job. Do it.
If someone you haven't talked to for 5 years comes out the blue like, hey, I need $200, you're like, okay, well, firstly, I haven't heard from you in how long? And the first thing you do is you asking me for money. Like, I don't see what the issue is. I mean, granted, she was the team leader, and, you know, it was her responsibility, but they shouldn't be mad at her for that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of the viewers feel the same way. No one really that I saw on any of the websites that posted on this morning agreed with her being fired. Everyone felt that Kate Gosselin should have been fired, but she didn't get any donations.
Yeah,
wow.
So she didn't even pull in any, and so that was what everyone's angry about. They're like, why don't we get rid of her? You know, Keisha did the
understandable.
Right thing.
But
I mean, one way is to look at it on money, and the other was that everyone like a chicken. She had everyone as a nervous wreck. That's why she was fired. I mean, everyone had a problem with the way that she managed. I mean, by definition, as a leader and a manager, she failed at that. I mean, on top of the money part.
Yeah, but I feel like Kate should have gone. I'm so sick of her and her damn 8 kids, whatever, however many kids it is.
You didn't know that this show was on. I mean, I remember the headlines of Donald Trump saying, and I quote this spring, that Kenya Moore was the most evil person he had ever met in his entire life.
Did he?
That's a pretty big insult. I mean, when I heard that, I said, wow. Now, I've heard this man say quite a thing or two about our president. From the birth certificate in Kenya and all this other stuff. But to say that she was the most evil person beating the president, mind you.
Well, that's good. I hope she kicks his ass. Nobody likes Donald Trump anyway.
He's Donald Trump. Like, I feel like it doesn't matter. Like, Donald is in his own world. He's in his own bracket of money. He's like, a crotchety old aunt or whatever. He could say whatever he wants and do whatever he wants at this stage in life. Who's going to fire Donald? That's the bigger question.
His toupee.
Let's move on to Miss Spears' story before this gets too deep.
I think it's already gotten too deep. I mean, that Donald Trump, toupee that sits up there. I just can't see how you can sit here face to face with Donald Trump and not just stare at his hair. I don't see how anybody can, and his cheeks. I don't see how people can do it. But anyway, last week Malcolm Moore visited the Ebro in the Morning show to talk about cultural appropriation and his experience as a white rapper and, his friendship with Kendrick Lamar. Now, as you guys are quite aware, over the past 4 or 5 months, things have not been good as far as people of our color go, and racial issues have resurfaced, and the music industry has been semi-divided, mainly between Iggy Azalea and Azalea Banks. And because of Azalea Banks speaking out about Iggy Azalea, many other rappers and artists and, people in the music industry have been coming forward. And Malcolm Moore, who is a white rapper, who is aware of, what he has, spoke about, his white privilege and how he wants to learn his spot in the music industry. A quote from him goes, why am I safe? Why can I cuss on a record, have a parental advisory sticker on the cover of my album, yet parents are still like, you're the only rap I let my kids listen to? Why can I wear a hoodie and not be labeled a thug? Why can't I sag my pants and not be a gangbanger? Why am I on Ellen's couch? Why am I on Good Morning America? If I was black, what would my drug addiction look like? Because as you guys know, Malcolm Moore is a recovering drug addict. So that's just a little bit of what he said. And I, for one, applaud Malcolm Moore. I think that it's a great thing that he did to go to that show and talk about, his spot in hip-hop and how things shouldn't be the way that they are. But I was talking about this with my friend a couple of days ago, and they were like, and he's a major hip-hop head. Like, he loves hip-hop. He's like, the difference between Malcolm Moore and Iggy Azalea is that Malcolm Moore actually grew up listening to and studying and living and breathing hip-hop, and it seems like Iggy Azalea just picked it up as something to do. So my question is, how do you feel about that, Tiger?
I actually really did appreciate the article once I read it, because at least he's speaking up and he's saying something about it. He's not being quiet and pretending that, the white privilege doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
especially within the industry right now. I also saw where Nicki Minaj also spoke out. So, you know, just for both of them being mainstream right now, I know Q-Tip has come forward and everything, and it's just in Azalea Banks, but then to have these two mega stars right now to speak up and say something about it, one of them being, you know, white, and then the other one, you know, just being Nicki, which in a way kind of seems like she said something like, because she doesn't really like Iggy too much, but at the same time, I agree with what he said, and I respect him for coming out and speaking, you know, his piece on it. I've become less of a fan of Iggy Azalea over the past couple months, just after seeing how she's treated some of her fans and just people in general. She's just kind of nasty to people, in my opinion. I don't feel that she's humbled herself enough, and I feel like T.I. makes excuses for her. And, you know, she should definitely educate herself on the, you know, the business that she's in right now. You're in a predominantly black you know, environment as far as with your music. You rap. She sounds like Rashida to me, even though Rashida can't make any money off of her albums because her rap sucks. But
the shade.
But Iggy Azalea sounds just like Rashida. I mean, if you really listen to her tone and everything, like you're biting off of another woman's style basically, and then you're not even really paying homage to where, you know, all of this came from. And it's just sad that, like I said, Rashida kind of sucks, but at the same time, Iggy's not that great either. And she sounds just like Rashida, but she's the one who's pushed out into the forefront and made a star when Rashida's been struggling for however many years.
People keep messing with Iggy is kind of what I want to. It seems like, I mean, people are forcing her. You want her to say something. Like, you want her to apologize. People want her to bow down. It seems like she hasn't said anything negative to anyone. She hasn't come for anyone. And people are just using her as a punching bag, as if, you know, she absolutely has to read, you know, Black History.
Well, have you not seen the stuff that she said? She's been on video saying things like telling people she wished they get Ebola and stuff. Like, she's not a very, you know, nice person.
Well, she said that to the paparazzi because the paparazzi was taunting her about Azalea Banks, which is understandable.
That was very, I mean, it was
the paparazzi is going to do.
But would you go and tell somebody you hope they get Ebola? I mean,
yes,
really,
if they're upsetting my life.
I would not. You have to grow up and be, you know, responsible for some of the things that come out of your mouth. And something like that.
I think that was an irresponsible thing to say. She's new. She was, you know, again, new to the spotlight. You have to get used to paparazzi. Younger artists tend to do stupid things. That was stupid. But I feel like to, you know, attack her over the race thing as if she's, you know, on film saying the N-word all the time, like Justin Bieber. Nobody's going after Justin Bieber, and he said
not anymore.
Multiple.
They did when that happened. They
did go after Justin.
I mean, but it wasn't as much as, you know, as much as now. It's like the entire hip-hop community is upset at Iggy Azalea right now.
You also have to think of what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a lot more right now than what we were dealing with during the Justin Bieber situation. I mean, it is unfair. It's unfair to
we have to say, what has she done is what I want to know.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's unfair to blame her for the situations that we're dealing with right now, but there's so much racial tension at the moment without us getting political or anything. But we're dealing with that kind of stuff, and so now people are just attacking random people, you know, even just in real life.
I mean, I feel like it's unjustified. I mean, I don't see any black basketball players talking about their black privilege on the court. And so, I'm sorry that you know, that I'm sorry for being a predominantly black sport, and I'm sorry for whites not being able to do as well as us in basketball. I don't see that happening. Now, is that wrong to think? I mean, in my opinion, I think that's the same thing.
Well, I don't support her, so therefore,
I feel like they need to leave Iggy alone. What is the girl doing?
I mean, well, you know, I personally,
music,
I don't have a problem with Iggy Azalea. In fact, back when Iggy was a couple of years ago when she was just dropping mixtapes, everybody was like, oh my gosh, she's good, she needs to blow up, even though she's a white girl, she's going pretty hard. Like, this is stuff that I've seen people say on Facebook and Twitter. And now...
And then she went and had plastic surgery done. And in my opinion, if Azalea was upset...
She has blown up, and since she has finally got that success, now those same people are coming saying, oh, well, she's whack. Well, how is it that she was whack? She's whack to you now, but, a couple of months ago, you were going so hard for her.
Well, Nicki Minaj is also whack now. When she had mixtapes, she sounded better, too.
Girl, I have not really been a Nicki fan. You know what? I call myself a part-time Nicki Minaj supporter. I support certain singles here. I support an outfit there. I like her here. Oh, she's pretty in this photo shoot. Other than that, I'm not going to go to the store and buy a Nicki Minaj album.
Now, Tion, image is everything, and that is, what Nicki is about, and that is what Lil' Kim had been saying for years. That is image. She also went and had a ton of plastic surgery done. When Iggy Azalea had all of that surgery done, that's when everyone, especially black guys, that's when they liked her. She looks more...
I haven't seen really too many that like her, though, honestly. White
Azalea Banks
really
is so upset about her career, she should do the same thing, and before she touches the butt, have her teeth shaved down, have some veneers done, for starters. Maybe
what?
I honestly have not seen anybody
out of her hair, get her butt shots done, and then maybe you too can have a career. I'm sorry. You're upset at your career, and you're picking on the easy target, the white girl.
I really don't know the actual reason for Azalea not liking Iggy, except for the fact that their names are similar. And Azalea said that like a couple of years ago. It was on the Breakfast Club. I wish I could find it for you guys right now. And she was just, Charlemagne, with his messy ass, he goes, how do you feel about Iggy Azalea? You guys kind of sort of had the same name, and, it just went from there. Like, that's the only reason that I can sit up here and say that Azalea doesn't like Iggy Azalea.
You both have the name of a rose bush. It's not like it's original. Ever.
I'm not doing this.
There are wildly successful black rappers, and then there are very successful white rappers. It's not like they have a monopoly on it. Lil Wayne has been huge and is has been the biggest thing in rap for forever. Should he talk about his privilege? Drake, light-skinned privilege?
Well, I don't know. I can't say. I would not be hurt if Iggy Azalea went away from the scene. It's not like it would be a crush to hip-hop at all. So I'm not really, I don't really care either way.
With the way that things are going, it doesn't look like she's going to be there too long. Poor thing. I actually feel bad for her.
She's no Eminem, so it's not
no
like
Eminem.
we're going to miss her.
She's no Macklemore either, apparently.
Yeah.
All right. Now, speaking of white privilege, Madonna. This is not Madonna, who is the queen of just, I don't know. She does whatever she wants. She says stupid things, and then she goes back and apologizes. Oh, I didn't mean it. After 30 years of it, starting to get a little tiresome. But finally, I feel like it's catching back up with her. It's not been a good holiday season for Maggie, Madge, whatever. Her entire album. Maggie. That's going to be her name tonight.
Madge.
Album, or most of it's been leaked. The album cover shows her with her face wrapped up in microphone wire. I really think that she should get a wireless microphone. The imagery is to represent a fighting rebel heart. On the 2nd, she posted images of Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela with the caption, "This rebel heart fought for freedom." I may not be a history scholar, but I do not find stripping on stage and having armpit hair as being in the same league as civil rights leaders.
Oh, my gosh. You know what?
It's going too far, Tion?
Yes, it is going too far. You know I am a Madonna fan. I am a fan of the royal pop family. Let's be respectful.
No, I mean,
I'm
is
also
her
a fan of Mad.
seeing those images of Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King in that same artistic expression and putting herself on the same level. Is that going too far? I know what I did was.
But she didn't put herself there. It was fan art, and there were other people that also had that wire wrapped around them, too. She just reposted what someone else already created.
But who asked her to post it?
But her own picture was done.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Okay, so Madonna has a new album coming out in March called Rebel Heart. Now, as you stated, you know, a lot of her songs have leaked, which caused her to not only push the release date of the album up, but she decided to come out with the cover art, and she gave us 6 songs, and I love it. We're speaking about Rebel Heart. Madonna stated that the theme of the album is basically listening to one's heart and being a rebel, and that her inspiration behind the album was to deal with being a renegade and being romantic and rebellious and just standing up for what you believe in and, you know, following your heart, even though it may not be what other people would find interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do what you feel is right. And Madonna, despite her antics, despite the fact that she's not shaving under her arms on stage, she is an activist in her own right. And I personally, maybe it's because I'm a Madonna fan, and maybe it's because I am a writer, and, you know, as an entertainment news writer and a fan of Madonna and following this album and following her, me seeing the pictures of Martin Luther King and, you know, Bob Marley with the Rebel Heart album cover wire or whatever you want to call it, I instantly got it. I'm like, okay, these are some great people who stood up for what they believed in and talked about equality and peace, and, you know, that's basically what this album is representing for Madonna. I didn't think that she needed to
That's all I'm going to say. I understand the point. Stop pushing the envelope, but she asked for it.
But she put it over Jesus, too, so how is Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela better than Jesus? She posted the picture with Jesus a few days before
that one.
Yeah, so I'm like, why is everybody up in arms about, like, Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela?
Everybody's making a big deal about black stuff. That's why.
Yeah, Jesus was posted way before that. Like, she posted Jesus probably, you know, first. Well, she posted herself a few times with it on there. But this has been all over her page even before now and on other people. And it just seems like they only said something when it hit Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela. But there were other portraits on her page from days, you know, way before then, and nobody had said anything about that. So this is what I have a problem with our people at times. We pick and choose what we want to see and what we want to call racist and what's not. I don't feel that she's a racist person. I don't feel that she thinks that she's Martin Luther King or anybody else. I just feel that she's, I don't know, like she's always stood out and done whatever she wants to do, and it doesn't matter if anybody's white, black, you know, Hispanic or whatever. She's Madonna. She's always pushing the envelope. I don't see her as doing this to say that she's better than anybody or that she's fought the same fight as other people. But, yeah, why aren't we talking about the fact that she put it over Jesus' face, too? I mean, it's just a statue, but still.
Pick and choose. Because Jesus does not fit the current argument of, you know, the Iggy Azalea.
Well, I'm not going to put Martin Luther King over Jesus. So
that's what they're doing. That's
what my thing is. Be upset
apparently
about
they did, right? Nobody talked about Jesus, and everyone brought up Martin Luther King. I didn't even see the picture of Jesus. I don't recall seeing anyone.
He has it over Homer Simpson.
Even the headline only mentioned
one over Homer Simpson.
Yes.
Oh, that was good.
But that justifies my entire argument. That just makes my argument.
Your love, honey.
That makes my argument.
The Grinch,
or any of
the
that.
Grinch.
You're trying
the Grinch.
Yes, he's a rebel heart.
That just makes my entire statement look like it means nothing.
Listen, it was 2 weeks ago when she posted the Grinch.
It was for Christmas.
Look, I think that she made all this stuff herself. I don't think.
I don't think Madonna has
wait a minute. And she kept posting images until she got that one, until she got a hit. That's what happened.
I don't think Madonna got that much time on her hands.
I don't.
Well, how about with
somebody
Queen,
else
where she
posted
said
it from her
Madonna mentioned my name in Illuminati. Bitches, I've made it.
Wait, who said that?
That's what another post that she put was the Queen of England.
I'm telling you, this sounds deliberate. It's like she kept posting images until she's like, I'm gonna make the news. One of these things are gonna go viral. Jesus didn't do it. The Queen of England didn't do it. Nelson Mandela.
Okay, so the day before she posted the Martin Luther King one, it says, "Dear haters, I have so much more for you to be mad at. Be patient." And the next picture, which was the next day, was Martin.
I'm telling you, that was deliberate.
Yeah, so
y'all don't understand. I love, as much as I talk about being PC and whatnot, I love a good. I live for a good publicity stunt. You know that I love the fake industry marriages and all that stuff. No matter how much I talk about it, I watch people who do this stuff over the years. Okay, but
I want to tell you guys
the
same thing that I told my friend Corey.
She's like, just be patient.
And my friend Corey, today she was like, "Oh, I really think that." Madonna's always controversial, so I think she did this on purpose. I really don't think that she did it on purpose this time. I honestly feel like this time Madonna was just really doing something where she felt was right. It just turned controversial.
When has she ever done anything that she thought was
and
right?
That's the same thing Corey said. And you know what? I not have an answer. You know what? When the last time she felt like she was doing something that was right is when she released Confessions on the Dance Floor. That is when she felt like she was doing something that was right. And you know what?
According to her album sales, that was the last time she did something right.
Well, you know what? Oh, let's not go there, because when you've been in the industry for as long as Madonna has, and you've sold records, Madonna's current amount of records is over 3 million worldwide. Okay, so what? Hard Candy barely went platinum, and so what? MDNA,
because that's what she gets for going on 106 in Park. That's what she got for going on 106 in Park.
Hey, 106
you see, the white privilege didn't work that day. That white privilege Macklemore was talking about didn't work that day. We need to talk about that now.
Granted, the day that she went on 106 in Park, the day before she was on TRL. I'm not going to do this. I'm getting upset. Where's my Coca-Cola?
This tea, though.
Where's my Coca-Cola? I'm not happy.
Thank you for tuning in to the Media Mogul News Hour. I would like to thank the Glaminati for joining me tonight. Tion, thank you. Tion.
I'm not talking to you guys. Thank you for having me.
Left the table.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Tygerlily, thank you.
Thank you.
And for more celebrity news, visit popglitz.com.